Welcome to Funeral Fridays with Harmony, and today we are going to touch on the topic of lasting power of attorney as well as an advanced medical directives, two documents which are also very closely linked to making a will. So if you are making a will, if you are drafting a will, do not forget to also have these two legal documents in consideration because they are very interlinked. The main difference is that a lasting power of attorney and an advanced medical directive takes place. These two legal documents actually takes place even before death, so they are in effect even before you pass away. However, for a will, the will only comes into effect after you have passed away. So what exactly is a lasting power of attorney and why is it so important? So a lasting power of attorney is a legal document that a donor can make. However, do take note that this donor must be at least 21 years of age, can make whereby he assign one or more donees to either act jointly or to act in a single person capacity, to assign these donees the power to make certain decisions on the person's behalf should you lose mental capacity one day. So choose your donees carefully because your donees would then have powers to decide on two broad areas of your life when you lose mental capacity one day. First being your personal affairs. And personal affairs, when we talk about personal affairs, it takes into consideration your welfare as well as your living conditions. Like for example, where you stay, should you lose mental capacity one day. And the other one is your property and other estate matters. So for example, if you have a house in your own name and should you lose mental capacity one day, you can assign, before that even happens, you should have already assigned the donee and you can assign them to have the power to decide what to do with your property and other affairs. So this is very important. If you do not want your house to be sold, even if you have lost your mental capacity one day, do expressly state that to your donee so that they know in advance. Because at times, if you do not say in advance what you want, it might be difficult for the donees to guess what exactly is better for you, because what is good for someone might not be good for another. So remember that when you're doing up this lasting power of attorney, to also state expressly, state that what your wishes are should you lose mental capacity one day in terms of your personal affairs and in terms of your property and other affairs. So what are the main steps to actually get your lasting power of attorney, in short form LPA, done up? It's very simple. You can download LPA form 1, which is a standardized form, and then you just tick a few boxes and write down your wishes. Or you can have LPA form 2, which is a little bit more tricky because it's more customized, and then you have to go to an accredited medical practitioner, psychiatrist or lawyer to have the document endorsed and signed. And then of course the last step would be to submit the documents that you have to the guardian of public office, either by post or personally. Very simple, just 3 steps, and these are done to ensure that at least should you lose mental capacity one day, that your affairs are still in order, that your welfare is properly being taken care of. Because I've come across family members where perhaps the person is already in a nursing home, mentally incapacitated, and the person has assigned someone else, his distant relative, to be the donee to help handle his affairs. And he has a house. However, I think it was decided that it was in the best interest of this particular person for the house to be sold away. It was a landed property that was freehold, but I'm not sure in the long run if that's the best decision. Of course, I wouldn't know, but the fact remains that it's a question mark as to, is this really what the person who has been mentally incapacitated would have wanted, or would he prefer an arrangement where the house was just rented out, the rooms are rented out and tenanted out instead, where there's still passive income coming in. So the reason that his distant relative sold the house was because they wanted to fund his stay at a nursing home. However, I believe that there are various alternatives. For example, tenanting out the various rooms in the house could be a source of fund to fund his stay at a nursing home as well. So if you have certain wishes that you want to be carried out, please expressly state them. Next, we'll go on to the Advanced Medical Directive. An Advanced Medical Directive is also a legal document that you do before you pass away, and it is something that you do in advance to inform the medical practitioner, the doctor, that you do not want any extraordinary, life-saving, sustaining treatment or devices should you become terminally ill and you lose conscious one day. So for example, if let's say there comes a day where you're ill and you can no longer be cured and you do not want to be placed on life support, so signing off this Advanced Medical Directive would inform the doctors in advance that you do not want this to be done, and at least it also relieves the burden of your family members, because they might want to save you, but if you think it's not something that you want, you don't want this because you feel that your quality of life might be affected, then it could be a good way to let your family members know in advance that this is not something that you want, and at least they would also, it might be a relief of them, because we know that life support is not cheap. So what are the steps to doing up an Advanced Medical Directive? Also 3 steps. Firstly, of course, you obtain the Advanced Medical Directive form, which you can obtain at the hospitals or online. It's very easily accessible now. And secondly, you need a doctor to certify that, a few things, to certify that you are not under duress making this Advanced Medical Directive, that you are mentally, you are sound, and to ensure that you know what are the implications of making this Advanced Medical Directive. So you need to sign this Advanced Medical Directive in the presence of 2 witnesses, one of which must be the doctor, and the second one of which must be someone who does not have vested interest in your death, meaning that he or she doesn't benefit from your death. So the person cannot be a beneficiary of your will. And of course, thirdly, same step as the lasting power of attorney would be to submit the relevant documents to the government office. And the relevant government office in this case would be the Registrar of AMD, Advanced Medical Directive. So these 2 documents are documents that you do pre-death, before you die, and to prepare for any unfortunate circumstances. It's also to safeguard yourself and to give your family members, your close family members, a peace of mind, knowing that you have your affairs in order, that you have stated your wishes in order, and at least they will know how to better care for you in the event that you don't pass away but you do fall ill or you do get mentally incapacitated. I hope that this information has been useful for you, and do remember to get these 2 documents done up. They are not very difficult before it is too late, because we really do not know, come what may, anything might really happen just any day, because there is no official evidence of what triggers dementia. It could really just be anything, and we do not want to wait until it is too late to regret. So start planning now in advance for the better of yourself and your loved ones. So if you enjoy watching this and you found this information that I've just shared useful, please do not forget to like, share and subscribe. Also, PS, if let's say you are looking for more information about wills writing, do not forget to check out the video on wills writing as well, because this is a document that you do in advance, of course before you pass away, but that takes effect after you pass away. So it's like a streamlined process where the Advanced Medical Directive and the lasting power of attorney comes into play beforehand, and then after you do pass away, I mean we all pass away one day anyway, then the wills will come into effect. So thank you, and you have a good day. See you again in the next episode of Funeral Fridays with Harmony. Okay, so this is the end of the video. However, there's a slight change. Do take note that from 14 November 2022 this year, the government has introduced a new measure that allows lasting power of attorney to be done online. You just have to log in via your SingPass, so it's made a lot more convenient compared to the past where you have to fill out a form and submit to the relevant authorities. But if you're not as tech savvy, you can still use the traditional method. Otherwise, log on online now and do your lasting power of attorney.